Welcome to this podcast, Married to His Will. I am Suzette Williams, your host. If this is your first time, I am so excited to welcome you to this podcast. I'm so excited that you've taken the time to listen or watch. This podcast is for inspiration and enjoyment. I also take pleasure in providing a bit of clinical information here as well, since I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Georgia and nationally certified. Please catch up on previous episodes where I share my testimony, especially that first episode of season 1. I want to remind you that God can deliver you out of that problem you face. He's not only interested in saving you from hell, but He cares that you thrive in Him. I'm excited about this journey and for all those who have joined me along the way, and for those who will join me next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you find this content enjoyable or inspiring in any way. Please read the description area for any other information that may not be stated in the video or corrections that are made. Since my divorce, I have found a new appreciation for who I am and who I'm becoming in Christ. To my future hubby, if you're listening out there, may you find me where God has positioned me to be in His presence. I am so happy He is always there, and I plan to stay married to His will. Enjoy this next episode. Hello. Hi, everyone. I am Suzette Williams, your host of Married to His Will. I'm so excited that you decided to join us here today. I say us because I have a special guest that has come to share her story, and I am excited to introduce her to you. So I'm going to read her bio because she comes with too much clout for me not to talk about her specifically. So, as a military brat, born in Frankfurt, Germany, Chellee Clemmons was forced to adapt to various cultures as she relocated frequently. Little did she realize that this would be one of her biggest assets as an entrepreneur. Possessing the ability to build a rapport across all professional levels, Chellee excels in business and nonprofit endeavors due to her multifaceted personality. Everyone relates to her stories, to her hustle, to her heart and passion to pour into the lives of a woman. Chellee is admired for her transparency and willingness to share her life struggles and mental wellness. The phenomenally strong and resilient woman that graces our presence today once felt abandoned, lonely, disconnected, and isolated. She's not ashamed of her deliverance from suicidal thoughts and attempts that once plagued her mind. Chellee even openly discusses her own child's pain as it relates to a diagnosed mental condition. She was tasked with managing and operating her property management recruiting firm, Essential Staffing Solutions, while simultaneously navigating through one of the toughest seasons as a mother, coaching her son through his mental wellness battle. She was truly built for this. He is now living a peaceful, independent lifestyle as he manages with the support and guide of his mother. God infused Chellee with His strength. She healed. She did the necessary internal work. She overcame and is now accepting of her purpose to lend a surviving hand and help pull other women out of destructive thoughts and habits. Chellee came, she conquered, then she created. As a result of her internal work, Women Aspiring to Inspire Hope, WAIH, was birthed. This nonprofit organization was designed to give women a safe space for healing. Women from all walks of life can participate in connectivity and collaborative programs where they will be left feeling encouraged, seen, valued, and respected, not only by others, but most importantly by themselves. WAIH's aim is to pour into the cups of fellow women. The overflow of abundance and blessings that erupt from Chellee's life is intended to seep into the lives of her fellow sisters. This inspiring visionary has truly taken her pain and turned it into a platform where she can fulfill her God-given purpose. To know her is to know authenticity, perseverance, and strength. Meet Chellee Clemmons, the inspirational leader, motivating coach, and nonprofit founder and CEO of Women Aspiring to Inspire Hope. May the testimony of this auspicious woman lead others to her healing or to their healing and true destiny. I'm so excited. Please help me welcome Chellee Clemmons. Woo! Chellee!
Hey!
Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here today. I can't wait to dive in and let the viewers know who you are. I know you have a pretty powerful story.
Yes. So I'm Chellee, and originally from Germany. I was born in Germany. I'm a military brat. So I was born in Frankfurt, Germany, and moved around every 3 years. And so have learned to adapt.
3 years.
Yeah, every 3 years. Yeah. Wow. I know where I live based on what grade I was in and what school I went to. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I've heard, I did hear a little bit of that story when we met with Lateris, when I saw you with Lateris in your interview with him. That was pretty neat. I'm excited because the viewers heard me talk about that meeting with Lateris. So that was a wonderful opportunity as I talk about that. And of course, we'll get deeper into your story. But I like to tell the viewers how we met. So a friend of mine, Kirsten, introduced you to me, and we got to talking because you have an organization. Tell them what the name of your organization is.
So it's the WAIH, the WAIH. And what we do there is, the WAIH stands for Women Aspiring to Inspire Hope. And so we empower women, we give women resources, we encourage, we provide networking opportunities, because sometimes you think that you're out here in this island all on your own and you're going through something and you have to endure it alone, and you don't. And so I was blessed to be given an opportunity to host, different events for women, to just inspire them and to keep them. And it's really based on wellness, mental wellness. And so whether it's your mental peace, and, we wear so many hats as women, and sometimes we lose our own individual identity because we got this hat on at this time and we got this hat on, and we give so much and we give too much to some point where we're giving from an empty cup. And so it's important that we're constantly filling our cup up so that when we do give, it's from our overflow. And
I love that. So that when we give, it's from our overflow. And I can hear the overflow coming from you already.
Oh, man.
You just went right in it. Just talking about it.
I serve an awesome God.
So I can hear the passion to inspire and to give hope to women. No doubt you have come through a lot yourself as a woman, and you wear many hats. And so, continue your story. So you said you grew up as a military brat, obviously, or under, your parents were in the military, your dad or?
My daddy was. He was in the Army.
Okay. Yep. And so, were you able to even make long-term friendships going through that?
Get my first true friend, which is my best friend. Her and I have known each other for like 2 decades now, until I was grown. Wow. I don't even remember a lot of the people that I went to school with. I graduated from Fort Campbell High School. Okay. So like there's no 10-year reunions at Fort Campbell. Like it's you show up, and it may not be anybody there from your class, that graduated in your class. So it's kind of like a gamble to go to a reunion. But so I never experienced that. Every 3 years. And back then there was no cell phones. There were no, I can't FaceTime you. Like it was writing letters. And so the letters would start off when you would move and then eventually either you stop writing or they stop writing. And now you got to create a whole nother, every 3 years, which it worked in my favor because sometimes it was, I done really messed up at this school. These folks, they keep talking about me talking too much and I'm getting detention and all this stuff. And I'm about to move in the next year and a half. So it's okay. Wow, I'll start over.
Wow. So you really became accustomed to that. moving around.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That is a way of life, though, for children in the military.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
It's a great way of life. I think sometimes we look at when you uproot someone, a person that moves around a lot, that they're unstable because they're just
Right.
always moving around. But what you don't come to realize is that that person that's moving around is learning new cultures, is
Okay.
learning new people, learning how to
Yes.
meet people, learning how to, it's certain skill sets that you
Yeah.
learn when you are moving from place to place to place. It's
Yeah.
the ones that stay stuck in an atmosphere. When I first moved to Atlanta in 2013, and even when I started my staffing agency, and I would talk to people that were from Atlanta, and I'm like, okay, so where have you been? No, I've only been in this little town. If it's Jonesboro, I've only been in Jonesboro.
Wow.
If it's
Yes,
Union
I've heard
City, I've
those
only been in
stories.
Union City. I don't go up to Sandy Springs. I don't go to Buckhead. I don't go to, the other side. So when I started Essential Staffing Solutions, I moved my office from East Point to Sandy Springs because one day I got, detoured because of the traffic in Atlanta and ended up going, getting off on Riverside exit.
Okay.
And you talking about mansions,
Wow.
beautiful houses. And I said that day, I would hope that one of my team members would get detoured and be able to see and be exposed to something that's different. So being a military brat was actually a blessing. I didn't know it then, but I definitely know it now.
Wow.
That
I
it was
can see
truly a
that.
blessing.
Wow. I mean, that exposure to different cultures, that's invaluable. When I think you spoke to me there, because when it comes to my children, I mean, we've moved. I have a big family. I have 6 children, and with my ex-husband, but we moved so many times. And if you tell the story, you can tell it in a negative way, but mostly it's positive. So I really love how you said that, because they've been able to experience different states, different people, and it's really shaped me into an individual that's even more open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I love that. I love that you have this varied experience that's valuable in your field. So that brings me to this idea of the mental health field, the fact that you're a social worker. What's your title?
No, I do nothing in mental. Oh, no. I actually am the CEO and founder of Essential Staffing Solutions. So I started a staffing agency 7 years ago. And it was in 2022, 23, one of my sons got diagnosed with 2 mental illnesses. And him being grown, there was a lot of things I couldn't do and that were out of my control. You a mother, you can control the universe, right? And nothing was working in my favor. Everything, all the way from, the police, just not being aware, socially that, okay, or just self-aware, socially aware, this relationship aware. Like, you don't see that this young man is not in his right mind.
Yeah.
And so
how old was he when it started? Sorry. How old was he how old was he at the time
how old was he?
Started? Yeah.
22.
Okay. Wow.
22. And there was nothing. He lived on his own. And and with his mental illness, it made him paranoid. It made him think that I was trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, the one that tries to support the most is the one that they rebel against the most.
And
it's like, I'm the one that's here trying to help you. And and then so in that space, and not knowing, and it was new, very new experience, new journey. Yeah. And I didn't have resources. So, trying to figure out just different things, not knowing certain terminologies, like, hey, I need you, doctor, I need you to 1013 him. I need him to go back there. I need him to get stabilized. I need, like right now, he's not stable. Wow. My son lost the ability to to feed himself. He would get the food, but his mind was racing so bad that he wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
He would go to something else before he can even eat the food. Wow. You know, simple things that we take for granted, the things that we don't thank God for.
Yes, that right there.
Yeah, we want to thank him for the houses and the cars and all of this other stuff. But man, being able to get up and be clothed in your right mind.
In your right mind. That's enough to be grateful for.
You shouldn't ask for nothing else. No. You shouldn't ask for nothing else. Because if you're clothed in your right mind, he's already given you everything that you need.
Absolutely.
And so that was difficult.
Yeah, I can imagine. And at the time, you didn't have all the language you have now to even put to it. Talking about 1013 and in Maryland we said EP'd. So there's so many different terms, you know, here, but in Georgia we say 1013. Yeah.
And it's like, and then they ask, well, we can't take anything from you, mother. We have to ask him. Well, he's not even in his right mind. How is he? He's not even capable of giving you an answer that I know that he would give you.
Yes.
Because he's not in his right mind. So that was a very difficult moment. Mm-hmm. And being able to network and branch out. And I'm not a native from Atlanta. So, you know, I don't know a whole lot of people in Atlanta, but being able to, you know, branch out. And it got to the point where I needed a therapist.
Okay.
And one of my first a leasing consultant I hired at a property, she was going to school to be a psychiatrist.
Okay.
And so I reached out to her and I said, hey, I need a therapist because this is difficult. And I don't know which way I'm going. Mm-hmm. I don't know which way I'm going right now. And I need somebody to talk to. And I can't put all of this on my husband. And I can't put all of this on my mother. And I can't put all of this on my friends. I need somebody that I can talk to in a safe place.
You just spoke to the purpose of therapy right there.
And she hooked me up. She gave me some referrals and I got with this therapist and I was talking to her and going to my sessions and stuff. And she referred me to a psychiatrist.
Okay.
And his psychiatrist is part of our family.
Wow.
And she is the best thing since sliced bread. And not to say that he doesn't have his up and down moments, because what I had to realize is that it's a mental illness.
Yeah.
And it's not a cure to it. So just like COVID, after COVID happened, there was no cure to us getting back to. Yes. You had to just move on. You had to pivot. You had to make changes. You had to move on. You had to adapt. That's what being a military brat taught me to do, was to adapt.
You were prepared. Knowing you were.
Not knowing. Wow. And so she has been a great inspiration to him, to us, to our family. And like I said, we have our moments, and it's never going to ever go back to
what it was,
the way it was.
And it shouldn't.
And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you accept it, the sooner you yourself can heal and then share the love to that person.
Absolutely.
The way that they need to be loved. Not the way that you want to love them, not the way that you want them to receive your love, but the way that they need to be loved, because you're able to listen.
Yes.
You're not clouded.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you had to see him through the challenges of, you know, obviously making decisions about what to do for treatment, things like that. I know I was recently just there. I'm still in it with my youngest son. And he's literally just this week, I'm seeing change for the better. So it's not just one time you try something and it's over. No, it's an ongoing process. Learning new skills, new coping tools, what medication may work or not work, you know, all of that. So I'm sure you've been through all of that with your son.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things I had to realize was that, you know, I was so excited when they was saying that they were going to give him medication and it was going to make him better or it was going to help with the side effects of his mental illness, help with those different things that he has to experience. But the fight that he goes through every day. One day he came to the house and we were talking and And he was like, Mama, he said, see, no one else understands that every day is a fight for me.
Wow.
Every day is a fight. He said, it's like I got one on this shoulder, one on this shoulder, and they're just battling with each other. And I'm trying to, and every day is a fight.
Yeah.
And all you want is the old me, the old version of who I used to be. And that's just not who I am.
Wow.
And I'll never be him again.
That's
and
powerful
I was just
that he
like,
could say that. How did you take that?
Man, I had to marinate on it. Like, that's what my turning point was. Here, just stuff all these pills down your throat. Like, I'm not saying I'm not an encourager of him taking his medicine, because I know what his medicine does. But when he battles to the point where he can't take it, then that's where the love from me comes in, to love him more than he can imagine, so that he starts taking it again.
Yeah. And
not just badgering him with, when he call or when I call him, hey, you take your medicine today?
Right.
What did you take it yesterday? When the last, matter of fact, how many pills you got in your bottle?
Wow.
Like, that's how I started off.
Yeah. Because you're just about the treatment, getting him help.
That's it. And love conquers all.
Love conquers all.
But
he had the wherewithal to tell you what he needed in that statement. Like, this is me now, Mom. That is powerful for, and it brings you to a place where you're like, well, I need to get to a place of acceptance, right? Where this is real and he may never be what I'm expecting, He
won't.
Wow. That is very powerful.
You got to double down with that, even with, with the dealing with a child that has a mental illness.
Yeah.
But even children that don't have mental illness, if parenting, we're supposed to develop them and show them and guide them and all of that stuff. And I think sometimes we'll push more about our agenda.
Yeah.
Instead of listening and learning what your child's agenda is.
Yes.
Because they're telling you, that you're not listening. And I learned that in the process of, dealing with the things and the going through that roller coaster ride. Yeah. And I'm still on it. I'm still at Six Flags. Right now, we just coasting. But you best believe this thing gonna go up and it's gonna dip again.
Yeah, I believe you. Yes.
And I know it now, and I understand that. And so it helps me a whole lot. So I'm glad that God allowed me to experience and know
how to handle it now is better. And I think it's great. He's given you the grace to continue, because the way you're talking is like, we've been through the rough parts, and now I've accepted that this is who, he is. Not that God can do, like, completely turn around and he doesn't have to have this struggle forever. But I think that he's in the making of him through the struggle, and you've accepted
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely. My husband said the other night, and it's crazy because my husband is not his father. And so when we got married, all of our kids are grown.
Okay.
So him going through this with me, this journey with me, and right there by my side, has been a great support. And he said the other day, he was like, you don't have to worry about him because God has his hands on him.
Yes.
Like, God truly has his hands on him. So you don't have to worry about him.
Yes.
And I'm just like, and then he gave me some examples of how God has his hands on him.
Wow.
And I just start crying because I'm like, you're so right. God has his hands on him.
That's a beautiful thing for him to be able to observe and say. And that brings me to, even speaking of your husband, I'm definitely curious about your relationship with your husband. One of the things you did talk about with the terrace was your relationship with your husband, how you met, which I found very intriguing. And as you know, some people like myself are single right now, single again. So we could speak to that. How did, first of all, I guess you had children before you met, or you met during that time when you had, were going through the throes of raising your kids?
Oh no, my sons, I started raising my sons by myself when they were 2 and 3 years old.
Okay.
I met my husband 19.
Okay.
So my sons were grown. They were like 19, but they were grown at the time.
That's great.
And my husband has grown boys as well. So we both have 2 apiece. Okay, so it's the 4 of us together. The 4 of them together. And so when I met my husband, at first I got to tell the quick story. Everybody got to know how we met.
Go ahead, tell the story.
I used to live off Camp Creek, and so the U-Bar was my thing. Okay. I went to the U-Bar all the time, and my friends kept telling me I need to stay my old butt out the U-Bar, but I was going. And so I had broke up with a guy that I had been dating for like 4 years.
Okay.
And after that relationship, I just said, you know what? I'm going to focus on my business because I had started the staffing agency. I said, I'm just going to focus on my business. Okay. I'm going to find somebody that I can have fun with. And that's it. Like, I don't want no relationship. I don't want no tie down. I don't want no nothing. I was just tied down for 4 years. I'm done. Wow. I am going to focus on me and me and me and me.
I'm sure you went through a lot with that one to say that. With the last one.
No, it wasn't. You know what? He was a great man. Oh. He just couldn't commit. He just wasn't. He was one that I would have had to be his girlfriend till I was 50, 60 years old. Living in separate houses, talking about something that's my boo. No.
I love that you made a decision to move on then.
Oh, yes. I made a decision to move on. And so this was in December. I had a hiatus and did my own thing. Yeah. And in July, I had a friend, and he was a little close friend, but I had his friend, and he had asked me to borrow some money. Okay. And so I was like, okay, how much you need? $100. Oh, I can do that. Okay. So he asked me to meet him at the U-Bar so I can give him the money. And then plus he needed a ride to work. Okay. So I agreed. I said, okay, I'll give you this. I'm going to give you this $100 because I know you ain't giving it back to me. I ain't never going to see that $100 again. And so we met at the U-Bar. And while we're sitting there talking, my husband walks in and he sits down right beside the guy that I was there with. Yes. Now, the guy that worked, my husband told him that the U-Bar got some good 25-cent wings on Fridays. And that's what brought him into the U-Bar with 25-cent wings. Right. And he came out with a whole wife.
Oh my God. Isn't that something?
So they start talking, and the guy is complaining about the owner of the U-Bar and how, the cost of stuff and everything like that. And my husband says to him, do you realize the ice in your cup he has to pay for? And I said, is he talking about operating expenses? I got up from my seat and I went and stood in the middle of the both of them.
Oh my God.
And we had this great conversation. Then the guy, he was like, hey, I gotta go. You still taking me to work? And I said, Here go your Uber. This what the car look like. Do you need the license plate number? Because this is how you getting to work today. I'm staying here. And I ended up staying that night. Everybody that came to that bar thought that him and I were already married. Wow. And every last one of them were women.
Wow.
Every last one of them were women. And they hung with us and we chatted up and had a good time. And they all thought that we were already married.
Y'all connecting.
Oh my God. And it didn't take him no time. Within 6 months, he proposed to me in the U-Bar again. He asked me what was my favorite number. I said 27. He said, oh, okay. We're going to get married July 27th.
What?
And I said, oh, okay. And I asked for another drink. I didn't, there was no ring. There was no nothing. And then in January, we took our kids to, on a road trip to New Orleans. Okay. And when we got to New Orleans, he called all of them to the room and said, hey, I want to make sure y'all know that we're getting married. I'm marrying your mother in July 27th of 2020. And wanted to make sure all y'all were good with it.
That is
And then
something
I was standing
powerful.
there, I was like, oh, he was for real.
Wow. So
That was
he
a
knew
for
what
real
he
approach.
wanted and he went after it.
And he did. And we got married a year after we met. Now, the
Yeah.
funny thing is, my husband and I are of two different faiths.
Yeah. I do remember you mentioning that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is
Yeah.
powerful. I want to get to that. But I love that you talked about how you heard a keyword that was spoken when you went to the bar. And the conversation between him and the owner, they're talking about ice, and you said operations. And that's a
Yes.
business, I guess, a
Operational
business
expenses.
term.
Yeah. Operational expenses. And
Yeah.
my husband's an entrepreneur too. So we're
Okay.
both entrepreneurs. So when he's like-mindedness,
Very much compatible.
yes. Yes.
Compatibility is so huge on my list right now. Okay. So important.
Yeah, we got to be going in the same direction.
That's it. That's all it is.
That's it. We gotta be. I read
Yeah.
books. My husband read books. Like we gotta, when we elevate, we gotta evolve. That's how most relationships end, is because
Yes.
one person is evolving, one person is standing still. You
I'm
got
a
one
big,
growth mindset, you got one fixed mindset.
I'm a
And
big
then,
example of that. Yes.
yeah. So
Yes. Very good.
So yeah.
So moving into the conversation of faith, how did you navigate that, or what was your idea about that once you realized he was of a different faith?
So I'm a Christian.
Yes.
And so early on in my Christian journey, I believed that being equally yoked meant that I had to marry a good old Christian man.
Right.
And we had to have the same type faith. We had to, he got to be a good Christian man.
Sure.
So I'm in the church. Don't let no single man come in the church. I'm in there like, oh, that might be him.
Right. You're already looking
When you
for
on
that
that
one.
single journey,
Yes.
yeah, you like.
I was just talking about that on a story I posted. I'm like, I'm not gonna go crazy over that one single man sitting in my congregation.
Girl, you be like,
Oh my God. Are you here waiting for the guy to show up at church?
yeah. So, I believe that that's what being equally yoked meant.
Right.
As I continued my Christian journey, I continued a journey of developing a closer relationship with God and really focusing in on our relationship. Now, I do believe that you should assemble yourself. I do believe that you should be in a church family and all of that stuff. But I think that is empty if you don't have that relationship with God.
Absolutely. That's
so
secondary.
It's secondary.
Yeah.
However many volunteer committees you can be a part of, it's secondary to actually spending time with God.
Absolutely.
It's like he gonna be like, hold on, you was the usher, you did you sung in the choir, and you got a good tune to you, but you never spent any time with me, so I don't even know who you are.
Wow, that's so important that you say this. Yes.
So creating that openness and that to say, you know what, as you get to know God, you get to understand his personality, you get to understand, who he is.
Yes.
And then you get to understand who you are in him. Absolutely. And so I believe I'm an entrepreneur. I very creative. I like to dibble and dabble in a whole lot of different things. And I'm like, my God has to be a reflection of that creativeness. So I know he didn't just create one pathway for one person. And so, there's a pathway for us Christians to get to him.
Yeah.
There's a pathway for the Muslims to get to him. He knew he created children in his own image. Right. And he knew that he created everything in 6 days.
Yes, he did. He sure did.
Everything. In 6 days. There's no way that he would sit there and think, oh, you know what? I know that all my children are going to come to me through this one faith
Right.
system.
And they could come. So I guess what I'm hearing you say is that you believe Jesus is the way, but they could find him in anywhere they are.
Anywhere they are,
I
anywhere
agree
they
with
are.
that.
So my husband is Muslim. One of
Okay.
the things we said when we first got married was we were not going to convert each other. He wasn't going to
Okay.
try to convert me to Muslim. I wasn't going to try to convert him to being a Christian. That was one of the things that was so hard when we got ready to get married, was because once we said he's Muslim, I'm Christian, do you know how many people just was like,
Yeah. I mean, that would be immediately my response. Like, ooh.
Oh
Yeah.
Nope, we're not. But you're refusing me to do what I want to do for myself just because you disagree with it.
Exactly.
Which is wrong.
That's wrong. So
It
you
is
have
wrong.
to know,
So
your ability to manage that. Yeah.
So my aunt actually ended up marrying us. Because you know what, I called my mom crying, and I'm like, nobody will marry us because we're of two different faiths.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, your aunt is an ordained minister. You want to call her and see? I was like, I called her and I said, hey, I told her what the situation was. She said, I'm there. You're my niece. I'm there. I said, well, let me tell you now. He's Muslim.
Yeah.
You're my niece. I'm there.
Yeah.
And she came and married us. So I truly now believe that being equally yoked just means that you have a relationship with God.
I've never seen it that way before. And I'm going through a journey myself, where I'm seeing different sides of God, understanding him on a deeper level, especially through my divorce, because there was no way I was going to be divorced, girl.
I feel you.
Because of what I believe. Our belief lead us where we need to be, right? And so I can learn something from you. So the fact that you're saying you made a decision for yourself because what? You have free will. That's a gift from God itself. You had free will to choose a man that you knew within yourself you could love, and he loved you.
Absolutely.
And you were going in the same direction.
Just as I am. I'm a hard woman to live with. I know I am. I know I am.
What makes you a hard woman to live with?
Look, I am a hard woman to do. I have my ways, right? And to have someone that loves you. Your
husband knows more.
Look, he be like, look, Chellee, these, and we talk about it all the time in our Gloves Off conversations. Like, we talk about it all the time. Yeah. But he be like, you are just, this is you. And you are this and you are that. And I'm just like, you're right. That is who I am.
So you're humble. You listen when he does. It sounds like you really listen to your husband, and you are able to adapt, and I mean, adaptability is important in a relationship. But it sounds like you do listen, even of different faith. Because your relationship with God is first and foremost, how to navigate what he's telling you to be right. Or what's not. You probably know I'm not saying you agree all the time, obviously. How do you even deal with that?
Sometimes not only do I not agree, but I don't adapt. And then it's up to him at that point whether he just says, you know what, I'm going to love you beyond. That's the part that we lose is, I'm going to love you beyond. You think that when you get into a relationship with someone that you're supposed to conform to the way that person wants you to be, and that person's supposed to conform the way you want them to be. And that's not it at all. No. Y'all are two separate individuals. Y'all come together as partnerships.
I agree with that.
Partnerships. Not, you're this and you're that, because there are times when I'm going to be 80%, he's going to be 20%. There's going to be other times where I'm going to be the 20%, shoot, I'm the 2% and he the 98%. There's going to be those times, and you got to be okay with the stuff that people won't adapt to, the things that people won't conform to, because people are going to be who they are.
So you respect.
And you got to love beyond.
Yes. I love that. So you respect who he is, and you know how to disagree and still love each other.
Absolutely. Because it's going to happen. Yeah. I am a military brat. My husband and I have two different, totally backgrounds.
I'm sure, yeah.
Totally different backgrounds. The stuff that he has poured into me and told me about, totally different.
Yeah.
And so I can't expect when he does something that he's going to react this way, or when I do something, he's going to react this way. I can't expect that because I don't know. Yeah. You know, you just have to learn people as they go, and then you accept or don't accept. And if you don't accept, you just love them through it.
Yes, I agree with you. And you see, not everybody's at the level of maturity to manage or handle conflicts in a way that is effective, right? And so they don't know how to deal with difference. They don't know how to, you know, so I do believe that we're each uniquely called to something, right? Like you're called right now, you are in a marriage where you're of different faith, but you have it's what seems like a successful marriage. You're not here complaining about your husband.
No, I have my days when I complain about it.
I'm sure.
What in the world? But I mean, that's to be expected. Okay. And we grow up looking at the fairy tales, and I still look at all the, like right now we got all the holiday, you know, love movies on and all of that stuff. And you grow up looking at that stuff. You grow up thinking that that's what love looks like. Yeah. You know, and that's not what it looks like. I mean, that's it. The word says love is patient.
Love is kind.
You know, that's what love looks like. And so, you know, sometimes you got to be patient with the person that you, like, this is the thing. When you marry, you make a choice. Yes, you choose to say, I do. No one put a gun to your head and said that you had to commit to this person for the rest of your life. You chose to do that. Yeah. And so in that choice, you have to make other choices.
I agree.
And I think now I'm at a maturity level where I can kind of see, okay, we're going to be different. And not saying that you're supposed to, because my first husband, you know, we weren't like-minded. Okay. Not saying that we had to agree with everything, but we wasn't going in the same direction. And
that's what happened. Yes.
Yeah. And I felt like I was drowning. And I was like,
so you weren't equally yoked because you just couldn't go the same direction. Yeah.
Absolutely. And he was a Christian.
And wow, look at that. So that's not the only factor that makes you equally yoked. And I think that's a good point that you're making here. Absolutely needed. And then how do you navigate with someone who because you're going to have disagreements in a relationship, no matter their faith, no matter, where you're from, you know, you're having to create something new, coming from two different places. And so you're going to have conflicts, but understanding that respecting someone for who they are is important. Not having all that codependency. Like if you feel this way, then I'm going to feel that way. You know what I mean? A little bit of codependency happens at times, but when you're talking about completely dependent on how this person moves and feels, so unhealthy.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing with our younger generation too. We have all boys, and you know they can't spend 2 seconds away from their girlfriends. As soon as they leave them, they on the FaceTime all day. I don't even know how they keep battery life in their phones. Like they FaceTiming them, and it's like we can't be apart. Like separation is key. You got to look at back in the days. That's why marriages lasted 50, 60 years because he was gone all day.
That's true.
There was no cell phone. She couldn't text him. She couldn't call him throughout the day. They were separated from anywhere from 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. Wow. So when they came home, it was like a reunite, and it feels so good, right?
Wow. I did not think about that.
We don't give each other space.
So these phones be getting us in trouble, girl.
It's like, he ain't text me yet. Oh, I've been gone for 2 hours. That's like I was saying at the Navigating Relationship Blind Spot. Like, when I would drive home, I'm only driving an hour and 30 minutes. Shoot, that's anywhere in Atlanta. I'm only driving, but I'm mad at him because he ain't calling check on me. Aww. Like, girl, bye.
But you had to learn that over time because you really loved him. I mean, we all start off that way, just, wanting to be with that person at all times, But I guess over time you've learned that space is healthy.
Space is so healthy. That's why they lasted so long.
Yes.
She didn't have no opportunity to nag him none throughout his work day. He was at peace all day long.
He'd pull away just to get some solitude.
Look.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm gonna take my breakfast to go.
Yeah. We all need that. And so it's healthy in marriages or just relationships to take those breaks, where you can have your time. Indeed.
It's so needed. It's so needed. That's why it's so important. I know you was talking on another podcast about, and the young lady that was on there, she was talking about being whole. As being single and being whole. And that is so important. Like you can't go into the relationship wanting somebody to complete you. We learned that at one time. I need you to complete me. And it's like, I came whole, you come whole. Now that doesn't mean that you don't have some flaws, because all of us do.
You're still working on things. Yeah.
Absolutely. You're always working on yourself, but you come with confidence.
Yes.
You come with humbleness. You come with pride.
Yeah.
You come with passion. Like you come whole. That's whole characteristics. You have the right characteristics that we mesh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can be complete opposites. Paula Abdul said, "We got something in common."
Yeah.
Opposites attract.
We hear all that.
It does.
I think it's very important that at the stage that you guys got together, you knew who you were. That's what makes it different.
We talked about that all the time. Like if we would have met earlier on, it wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. So y'all young, not everybody can try. Okay, so like God prepared the pathway for you because, like you said, you've been in diverse situations. You've open to so many different cultures. You're used to difference. You've been equipped for this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You really have been. So God knows who we're equally yoked with. We have to really think differently sometimes. Sometimes we're so black and white.
Oh, and it's so many gray areas.
So many gray areas. That's what I'm taking away from you. Just everything you said about your marriage, your faith being different, but it doesn't take away from the fact that you're walking in the same direction. You love each other really well. And so, I mean, as children, we like to safeguard our children from things. So we have to give them the simple route, right? Like, you probably can't handle a marriage with somebody of a different faith because you're probably not going to be, some people can't handle what you're handling. Mm-hmm. So what may be true for you, and as you said, the first prerequisite is your relationship with God, you knowing his will for your life.
Absolutely.
So it's not generalizing to everyone, okay, this is what you are able to do. But for Chellee, God has equipped you for that marriage. And he's giving you the grace for it. And you can still smile because you're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I truly believe that God equips all of us. Everything that we need, everything that is in our pathway is in our hands.
Yes.
It's just us building the confidence and us building the knowledge. And, I constantly pray for understanding, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And I pray for the knowledge because I want the information. And everybody always say knowledge is power, and power, knowledge is in the powerful piece. You need the information, but then you also need to take some time to understand it. And I want God to give me that understanding, allow me to dissect this information that I just received so it doesn't just come one-sided. And then the wisdom is the power because the wisdom is you executing the knowledge that you've obtained and using the understanding to move forward and do the things that God has equipped you to already be able to do.
Yes.
You just have to have the desire, the confidence, the ambition, the tenacity, the resilience. Yes. You got to be able to bounce back, right? Like because stuff is going to happen.
Stuff is going to happen.
It's going to happen, baby. It's going to happen. Life is going to life.
That's it. We're going to go through things.
Yes. Yes. And so when life lives, he builds our character through the trials and through the tests and through the different things that we go through. That builds character.
Yeah.
So you either gonna go through it, and just ram on through it, or you gonna let it beat you down and you're gonna have pity parties.
Yeah. Wow. It's so easy to do
So
that. And having gone through
yeah,
what you've been through with your son, you've been divorced before. You've had a life. Life was
yeah,
lifing, right? And it's still life's. But the longer you are on this journey, the more equipped you are to manage what life brings at you.
absolutely.
And I definitely hear the strength and the confidence that you have to inspire others. No doubt, this is why your organization is where it is. You're inspiring women, and I'm happy that we've connected.
Absolutely. I'm excited about you being on our panel
Yes!
in
Oh
January.
yes, January.
Yes,
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 I'm planning to be on
yes.
that panel. I'm talking about domestic violence, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
We're talking about the panel is going to be talking about the mental piece, because
Yes.
I'm a Netflix junkie, right? So Hulu too.
Yes.
But I just watched on Hulu Reasonable Doubt. And it's
Mm.
so funny that while Kirsten and I were planning the Unleash Your Inner Strength workshop, I'm watching this series, Reasonable Doubt, on Hulu, and it's the second season. And
Okay.
it's literally, a woman that is being beat and beat and beat. And it started off lovely, all the whining and the dining and all of that great stuff. And then it went from that to, now I'm gonna take shots at you with my words, so I
Yes.
can lower your confidence and lower your self-esteem. And then it went to fist fighting. And so it's like, and so she ends up killing her husband and is put on trial for first-degree murder. Went to the hospital the same day with bruises and actually had the proof that he was choking her to death and everything. And they still put her on trial for first-degree murder for trying to save her life, save her own life. And so I was watching that and I'm like, God, if you don't be connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Like we don't realize sometimes when we're getting into that. And then I just rewatched Tyler Perry's Temptations.
Oh yes.
And how she, and that got into it. And I'm like, oh my God, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
It happens the same way, the whining and the dining and making you feel like you're the princess and you're the queen bee and all of this stuff. And then the verbal starts and then here comes the fist, and you just don't realize it in the moment. And the one with Temptation, she was a therapist.
Yes, she was. It doesn't matter who you are.
It does not matter who you are.
I was a therapist going through emotional, verbal abuse, stuff like that.
See? And so, like, I'm so excited. I'm so very excited for the Unleash Your Inner Strength wellness workshop. It's going to be phenomenal. We got the panelists and you're one of them, and I'm excited then turn the tables and have the conversation with you. Put you in the hot seat. And then we're gonna eat and fellowship with one another, and then after that we're gonna do some self-defense courses and learn how to fight back physically. So we're gonna deal with the mental first, and then we're gonna enjoy each other's company, and then we're gonna let's get physical, baby. Let's get physical.
That's exciting. I really love, it really does speak to what you do to inspire others. You want people to be empowered. The fact that you're putting this event on, I'm excited and very honored to be invited to be a part of the panel. Kirsten, she does her work, behind the scenes, putting things together. So it's been a great thing to have this connection with you through her, and that now I get to be a part of what you're doing. It's beautiful what you're doing. I'm so thankful that you came here today. You shared a lot, and I'm sure we could have continued because there's a lot more to share. So this may not be the last time I invite you here on my podcast. Yes, listen, there's a lot to talk about. But today I've seen the value of just your diverse experience and how it brought you to this point and how it's effective even in your marriage. And just your ability to inspire. All of it comes together and has worked together for your good.
Absolutely.
And it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Chellee, for being here and for gracing this podcast with your powerful presence.
Thank you. It has been an honor. It has been an honor and a pleasure. So thank you for having me.
You're welcome. What an awesome time with Chellee. I can say that having her here today was eye-opening, was refreshing, and also emphasizes the reason why I created this podcast, Married to His Will. One of the things that was so significant to our conversation is when she talked about her interfaith marriage and how she learned the difference between her marriage now and the one she had in the past that was completely unequally yoked. The one that she was married to an actual Christian like herself. However, they were not alike. Their direction was different. Their purpose was different. And so it didn't work. But here she is in an interfaith marriage that is more in line with her life and aligned for her. She could have looked at it black and white and say, oh, we don't believe the same thing, so we're not going to be good for each other. And perhaps that's the case for a lot of you. Perhaps that wouldn't work for you because God didn't call you to that. And maybe she's called uniquely to this marriage. So it's so important for us, even as you listen to this podcast or any other platform or podcast, that you take it with a grain of salt and line it up for your life with the Word of God according to your relationship with God. Because while divorce was not the goal for my life that God had, He knew that this is the journey I had to take for the salvation of somebody. But you don't have to take the same journey I take. You don't have to take the same journey Chellee takes, but you can take from it what is important for your life based on what God is saying for you. So I just wanted to emphasize that because not everything that worked for me or her is going to work for you. But I think the message here today is that the most important relationship you'll have on this earth is the one you have with God. That you are able to navigate relationships with maturity, with purpose, with grace, with love, with respect, honoring your Father first and foremost. So with that, all that you've heard today, I hope it's been more implored and emphasized in your heart that you will stay married to His will. God bless you. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you are watching on YouTube to be updated when a new episode is posted. Read the description area for more details on each episode and stay tuned for more upcoming episodes. They air most Mondays at 5 a.m. and if premiered a bit later. God bless you and stay married to His will.